为期5天的世界经济论坛年会今天在瑞士达沃斯落下帷幕。此次论坛主题为历史转折期的政府政策和企业战略。那么在受到地缘政治、能源、经济和卫生危机的多重挑战下，全球政要和各界领导人获得机会再次重建联系，获得新颖视角，并推进解决方案。年会的首要任务呢，是在应对全球挑战和改善世界状况方面加快进展，并产生影响力。来自政界、商界、公民社会和媒体的近2500名代表亲自来到这里。除了乌克兰问题和通货膨胀之外呢，我最大的感受就是此次年会有点气候大会的意思。本届年会的议程围绕8个主题展开，其中气候和自然主题占比最大。中美欧气候特使也出现交流洞见，并且呢共同推动气候承诺和能源转型。先行者联盟是世界经济论坛在去年格拉斯哥举行的联合国气候变化大会上发起的，目标是让企业做出承诺，在2030年前购买零排放的商品和服务，为低碳技术创造新的市场需求。微软、谷歌、Salesforce 等美国公司领导人作为企业代表，在年会上宣布扩容。那么在记者提问环节我第一个提问。
Thank you very much, Europe correspondent from Shanghai Media Group. I have 2 questions. The first question is, what is the ultimate goal of the First Movers Coalition? It's like how many companies do we want to involve in the coalition? Of course, I know that the best prospect will be all First Movers Coalition to All Movers Coalition, but like how influential would this coalition be? And second question, we want to know if you guys heard any interest from the public sector and private sectors from China.
The answer is we want as many companies as humanly possible so that we create a critical mass, which then doesn't necessitate a first mover anymore. It's very simple. But I can't tell you what that level is going to be because, as Bill will tell you, and everybody has underscored, this is tough. It's doable. The IEA said if we do everything we promised to do in Glasgow, we could be at 1.8 degrees by 2050. Well, we're not doing everything we said yet. But this initiative and others are going to kick everybody into higher gear.
I think it's also important not only to really say that we're becoming net zero today, but we must also sequester 200 gigatons of carbon right now. Yesterday, I am so grateful to Minister Shea, who came here from Beijing and committed to not only join trillion trees, but 70 billion trees, way beyond our expectation.
世界经济论坛也积极赞赏中国做出的气变承诺，并期待中国的领导力。
Over the last 2-3 years, we have seen many governments step forward to commit to carbon neutrality, and China is one of them, right? Very bold, ambitious, and going to be very significant for the world. For China to commit to looking towards achieving net zero targets and peaking carbon by 2030 and getting to net zero by 2060. Even during the pandemic, we saw a lot of positive developments with our Chinese colleagues based in Beijing, working on policy issues, supporting the ministry on green investment principles, working on various programs, and we hope to see a renewal of China's resolve to contribute and also to lead on climate action. Whether this in nature-based solutions, land restoration efforts, but also in industry decarbonization, in the energy, mobility, materials sector. Obviously, in the area of finance, it's also an area where China has taken very strong efforts to think about putting in place the right green standards, mobilizing finance to support the transition.
此外 Roberto Boca 世界经济论坛塑造能源与物资的未来平台总监也在接受我专访时提到了能源转型的几项优先事项，其中让我感到新颖的一点是能源安全和能源设施的安全。
Priority, in your words, is to look at the energy transition and to make sure that the energy transition is not only a transition that look at the sustainability element that is very, very important, but look at also the security and the affordability of energy. So if you think at what the crisis of the current contest is brought, is really this need to look at the energy transition in a holistic manner where sustainability, security, and affordability come together.
Well, as you correctly pointed out, there's been a spate of attacks on critical infrastructure across Europe in recent months. Many of these attacks were targeted against the energy sector. Yesterday, in fact, we rolled out a cyber resilience pledge to our constituents, signed by 18 leading oil and gas companies that are focused on building resilience within the oil and gas industry. Because the only way we're going to actually achieve some measure of cybersecurity is by working together in our specific industry ecosystem, since that's where all the lessons learned are, and that's where we need to build trust the most.